Hello and welcome. My name is Kia and I'm coming to you from Sweden in a small village outside of Gothenburg. This is my channel here on YouTube where I share with you my crafty life. I'm a knitter and a spinner, so that's mainly the content on this channel. Today we have some new things and some finished things and some old things and things on the needles, and also some new things that I have got. So we will have a lot of things to talk about today. On social medias you can find me as Ciasbod_podcast on Instagram, on Ravelry. I also have a website, Ciasbod.se, and I hope it's still working because I don't know where February went. I was supposed to get back into the schedule of podcasting, but February just disappeared, and I don't know. So I haven't really been on my website trying to put something up for a very long time. So I hope it's still working. I have received a lot of strange emails about my website, but I think it's just spam, I'm not sure. I hope this video will come up on my website with links to everything I talk about today. That's the goal, and let's see if it will work. So let's start today with what I am wearing, and this is a quite old sweater. I knitted it I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It was in the beginning of my podcasting, so it was maybe it was 6 years ago, and it was in one of the pom-pom magazines, and if I'm not remembering wrong, I think it was 18, and Christina something, and I will put her name here. And it's a really lovely sweater. I could actually knit this one again. I thought when I brought it out, I thought that this is such a great sweater. It's knitted from the bottom up, and when you come up to here you knit the texture. So you split for the sleeves and you knit this texture, and really nice. And I love the neckline here, and it's knitted with twisted rib and with a split hem and a little bit longer in the back than in the front. Really nice. I used a yarn from Drops. It was cotton merino, I want to say, and it's a DK weight. It gets very wearable when it's with the cotton and the merino, so it's not super hot, but it's lovely indoors and lovely for spring and for autumn, early autumn, and really nice. And I have been wearing it as I said, for 5 or 6 years, and I think it's been holding up really well. Maybe there will have to be a new Rocane sweater. I know I have a couple of years ago I was a little bit heavier, so I thought it was sitting quite tight, but now it's back to the normal size again. So really love this one. And as you can see, maybe it's a big cupboard here filled with yarn, so I could just knit another one, I guess. But yes, really nice to find an old sweater that you can bring out and it still sparks joy, it still makes you happy. So that's the Rocane sweater I'm wearing today. And I don't remember. As I said, it's been a very long time since I podcasted, I think over a month, and I don't quite remember what I have had finished since then. I know I knitted on the Hansel Happ, the full version, the squared one from Gudrun Johnston, and it's finished, and my son has been here and he has already brought it back to his home. I knitted it as a blanket, a baby blanket, because I'm going to be a grandma again in April. So he brought it back home. But I can put in a little film clip from when I showed it on my podcast that I am making with my Swedish friend. So here comes a clip. Yes, it's lovely. And the Hanselhapp is knitted in three sections, you can say. You start by knitting the square in the middle, and you knit it on the diagonal. So you start with 3 stitches here, and then you increase a lot, and then you start to decrease. So you get a square in the end. And then you pick up stitches all around, and you knit the wavy lace border around, and then in the end you don't bind off, and then in the end you start to knit the lace, the last bit that you knit around the square, back and forward like this. So every time you come to the body of the shawl, you connect by knitting 2 together. So it's built up in 3 different sections, so it makes it interesting and fun all along, I think. And you end up with this beautiful shawl in the end. And as in this case, it will be a baby blanket, and I'm really happy to gift it, and I hope that the little baby will have it for many years to come, on the bed and yeah, everywhere. So I'm happy to say that one is done. And also I'm not quite sure about this t-shirt. Did I finish this one the previous episode? I don't remember. This is let's see, I wrote it down here. This is Fragrance of Buds by Ludmilla Aksenik. I will write it and I will link it so you can find it. This is a t-shirt that I knitted in a superwash yarn. It's sport weight, this one, and this one is fingering, the orange one. And this one is a gift that I got from Bettina from A Knitter's World in Denmark. And this variegated yarn is hand-dyed by my friend Emma. And it was the perfect combination, because these rusty colors, they pop up in this one as well. And it's a little bit yellow and grey and brown, and it's super beautiful. And it's interesting construction on this sweater. You start in the back here by casting on a provisional cast on, and then you knit like a sun feather. You knit with the short rows, so it gets wider at the edges and smaller on this side. And then when you have a full sun feather to go around, you do the kitchen stitch here in the back. So super beautiful. And when you have that one done, you pick up around all the border, and then you knit the body down. And this lower section, the body section, should be knitted in garter stitch, you say that, just knit stitches. But I wanted it to be in the same texture as up here, which is 1 round of knit stitches and 1 round of purl stitches, so you get this this kind of texture, so it's the same as up here. And yeah, in the pattern you should knit just stockinette here. No, perhaps this is garter and the other one is stockinette. Well, I'm not sure about the correct words for everything, but you saw what I made here. It's not what the pattern called for, but I thought it looked nice when it was the same as up in the yoke. And I just knitted small sleeves, not very much. So really happy and proud of this sweater because it's a masterpiece. Who can figure out this? I don't know, not me. And I had no, it wasn't hard. I can't say it was hard. It was hard the first time to figure out how to make it, but I learned quite quickly how to build up this this leaf construction, and it was easy. So it was just to knit along. So I'm really happy to have a sweater like that, a t-shirt in superwash yarn, and yeah, it's quite easy to wear. At least this time of year it's nice to have a woolly but not super woolly and short sleeves, and yeah, I think it's wearable with wool t-shirts. Do you think it's wearable, or do you just find it you miss the sleeves, or what? I think it's nice to wear a cardigan over a woolly t-shirt as well. Maybe it's depending on where in if you live in the northern hemisphere or if you live where you live. So yes, that's a finished object since the last time. I actually bind it off here perhaps, and decided it was done. But when I wore it, you know, when I lifted my arms, I could show my belly. So I ripped out that the ribbing and knitted like 10 centimeters more, and now I'm happy, really happy with the length. Feels comfortable to lift up the arms and not knowing, you know, it goes over the trousers. So this is a perfect length now. Yes, what else? I am also making socks this year. I'm sorry if you hear something, it's the dog. He's laying here and looking at who I am talking to. So I am knitting socks this year, and I think I showed you that I started up a pair of socks in January, and it was a pair of grey socks, and I knitted it in a Mayflower yarn, and I think that's Hobby who is making Mayflower yarns. But yes, and just a simple pair. It has been the working pair, you know, that I bring to work and knit a little bit on the break, or on the, yeah, sometimes when it's a bit more quiet. So just a ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, and heel flap and gusset, and yeah, nothing special at all. But that's the goal for this year. It's to knit up the yarns that I have. I have a box here that I will transform from skeins to socks during the year. And for now I have finished this pair of socks, so I can actually put it in the box here after I have done podcasting. So we will, during the year, we will see the skeins transform into socks. Also, after finishing that pair, I got 2 balls. I started the second skein on the second sock. So I had 2 similar sized balls after finishing that pair, and I decided that why not just cast on rib for the heel, cuff and toe, a new pair of socks. And I also went up to the leftover yarns and found some other sock yarns that I had knitted something from it, but this was leftovers. So the bright one, the light blue here is from Ciasbod. It's a bamboo raggi. And the rusty one is Isager sock yarn. And yeah, as I said, the gray here is Mayflower leftovers. So I decided to just pick a chart that I have been making a cardigan from earlier. And it's an easy chart, you know, just like this squared, and also knitted under the foot with 1 by 1, 1 by 1 in the colors, not in ribbing. And that makes it a little bit more hard wearing under the foot, because here is where we wear out the socks. So I have double layers, you can say, under here. So one more pair of socks is done. So I am keeping up with the January socks and the February socks, and we shall see if I will make 12 pairs this year. That would be fantastic, really, really nice. So leftovers on this pair, and using the gray for that pair. Yeah, I have more, because there is a lot of finished objects today. And we have a Swedish podcast called Ciasbod. It's the only podcast in Sweden. But they have a knit along during the year that we will knit for the head in January, February, and we will knit for the shoulders in March and April, and for the knees and for the toes. You know the song, head. In Sweden it's huvud, axlar, knä och tå, and I think maybe you have it as a children's song. So it's head, shoulders, knees and toes. So to take part in that knit along, I decided to make a headband, and that's the first headband for me ever. And it's knitted in a blow yarn that I had in my stash. I have been gifted it. I didn't buy it. I have had it in a bag I was gifted. So it came in perfect use here, and knitted on 3.75 millimeter needles on the blow yarn, and just knitting like 50 centimeter long, and then sewing it together like this. So you make a little, so you fold both sides in double, and then you place them inside each other and sew it together here. So when you just turn it, it's this nice like, yeah, I don't know what's it called, but it's like a cable or something. The pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's called Scarlet, and I will link it on my website. And yeah, really nice. I knitted it in a day, quite quickly, and I have been wearing it out. It's very nice to wear a headband over the ears when it's windy and you walk the dog and you want something to cover your ears. So that's something very quick that I made, but I was happy to make something for the knit along, because they are friends of mine and I want to join, and you know, so that's really, really good. Also a finished object. As I said, I am becoming a grandmother again in April, and I'm really, really happy for that, and it will be a girl, and of course I want to make something for the girl. And to knit a woolly sweater for April, that feels quite not in any use. So I decided to make it for 6 months. And we have a pattern, a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm not sure if it's translated to English. Maybe, I will link it. But it's called Skyskrapa, and it's super fun. A really, really funny sweater to make. And you start from the neckline. I decided to make it open here and to put a button. I will put one button here. Button, yes. To close. Because, you know, small children, they don't want to have something tight over the head. So you open it and then you can just close it when it's on the body. But super, super funny sweater from the top down, as I said, and then knit this funny body, and as a finish you knit the sleeves, and you knit a pair of sleeves like this. It's one evening and then you have one sleeve, and yeah, it's super quick sweater to make. I made it in, it's a Swedish company, Svarta Fåret. This is how the label looks, and it's Svarta Fåret, and it's 100% wool, but it's superwash, so you can wash it in the washing machine. And these are the colors. And I really want to make, you know, like a scarf and a hat and to combine. And yeah, I have leftovers, so I can keep on making things for this little sweater. But really, really love the color combinations here, and the yarn is DK, and it's really soft, and as I said, superwash, and 100% wool. Really nice. And after blocking it, yeah, it turned out great with the colors. It just, you know, melted together. Really nice. And if you have leftovers, you could use one skein for just the top here, and then just use leftovers if you have a lot of leftovers, and just improvise. Really funny. And this one was for 6 months. So really glad that this is done, and I am so eager to cast on, you know, more baby sweaters. But I have one thing that I want to finish first, and then I can just do what I want. But yes, this is also a finished thing that I have done. The last one that I want to show you is something that I have been knitting from my advent calendar. In December I spun up on my supported spindles. I spun a little bit every day during December as an advent calendar, and I didn't know what to make, and I just felt like I wanted to make something for, you know, in one project, use all of it. And I I made lovely small skeins, and I placed them in the order I spun them on a wire, so I had full control over the order that I made them. And I decided a shawl. I'm not a shawl person, but this just felt like such a lovely, nice, mindless project to make from all of the skeins that I knitted. And it's called Medvind in Swedish. I know it's translated to English, and I will link it. It's from a Swedish person called Clara Falk, a Swedish lady. And you start here by casting on some stitches, and then you increase 2 on this side, like the last stitch and the first stitch when you turn, and here you decrease 1. So there is always 1 decreased and 2 increased. So it will grow slowly, and it will be it will be moving on both sides. So the first skein here it's about the same on every skein, not perfectly even spun, but almost even spun. So the first is of course quite a lot, and then it goes wider, so it will be less and less of the same. The stripes will be what do you say, smaller and smaller, narrower perhaps. And as you can see, this one is not much, and here it comes a little bit more. So it's not perfect, but it's almost perfect. And I had so much fun with this one. It was really, really the perfect project for the Advent calendar. Really nice. And now I can wear it as a springy, colorful, joyful shawl. And I'm really glad. I had so much fun with this project, from spinning to winding up and to all of it. It was a really lovely project, and I'm glad I have all the skeins in one project now, and I think it makes me look happy. It makes me look like spring is around, and I am glad for it. So I love it. I really, really love it. And I think I knitted it on 4mm needles, as the pattern called for. So yes, what do you think? Is it a good Advent calendar project? This doesn't have to be hand spun. It could be another Advent calendar that you have, that you just start in one end and stripe it until you have knitted all the 24. Because when it's done, it's done. You know, when the yarn when you run out of yarn, the shawl is done. So you end up with an I-cord. So before you knit up the 24th color, you have to make the I-cord. So you knit 23 colors, and then you knit an I-cord ending with the 24th color, and that was enough for me. It was enough to use one skein as the last one. So yes, really, really glad with this one, and it was such a happy project for many months. It was all of December I was spinning it, and all of January. No, not all of January, but for a week at least I was knitting on it in January. So it was a long project, and it was really fun, and I'm glad with the result, and I have been wearing it a lot. So that's the last finished object that I have today. I have some things on the needles, not a lot, but some things, and I was actually tempted to buy myself a happy spring project bag for my socks that I will be knitting this year. And I have casted on a new pair of just solid colors socks in Drops Nord. It's a yarn. I have been having it in my stash for many years. I think since Free Sock 2020. So it's been like 4 or 5 years in the stash, and I decided that this year I will knit up all the solid colors. And Drops Nord, I have never knitted in Drops Nord, and it's a little bit thicker yarn. Let's see what it says here. 170 meters, so it's between sport and fingering, and alpaca, wool and nylon in it. Really nice, really, really nice. And the first sock, 2x2 ribbing, is done, and this is also my work knit, of course. And I have casted on the second sock, and I'm on the leg here, so working on it when I'm at work, not at home. And this is what was left from the first sock, and I will be using it as I did with the first 2 pairs. So the next pair of socks, I will probably use this one as heel or cuff or something. So I will be, yeah, you know, mixing and matching and making all of the yarns disappear in the end. That's the goal. So 1 pair of socks at work. So I have something to do there. And something else. My husband has a favorite sweater, and his son lives in Copenhagen, and he has been very tempted by that sweater, and it is Skald by Wenche Roald, and this is how it looks in the pattern, and it's now a free pattern from Ciasbod, and I will link it in the links, and it comes from the collection Sagen. And I made the Saga sweater as a knit-along for Ciasbod a couple of years ago, and I also knitted this Skald for my husband then. And now I am making the same sweater again, and I'm glad it has been some years between, because knit the same sweater twice, not so fun. But when it has come some years between, it's okay. So I have finished the body here for the sweater. You knit it, as you can see, from the bottom up. And I am soon done. I have done all the, all the increases on the sleeve. So I will now just knit to the right length, and then I will have to cast on the second sleeve. And then there is a fun yoke to knit. And I now have a deadline for this one, because in the beginning of April we will go and visit them in Copenhagen. So I want to deliver this this sweater in the beginning of April. Oh, that was hot. I will take it off. It's a lovely shawl, but not indoors. Yes, so the Skald sweater is, I can say I have knitted at least half of it, or perhaps a little bit more. And until that sweater is done, there will be no more cast-ons, because there is so tempting to cast on small little fun projects like, children's garments or headbands or whatever. But I am holding myself to cast on the second sleeve and to get that sweater done until the beginning of April. So that's the two projects, and also I actually have a third project on the needles, and it is a lovely sweater. But let me tell you the story. The yarn company Ciasbod and Svarta Fåret here from Sweden, they always gift us. We can pick projects from their new collections, and also this time I was sent the collection, and I could pick a project and yarn from that collection. And I was really longing to knit with soft llama. This is a beautiful yarn. Many times it's, when you have a yarn alternative for Lättloopy, if you are sensitive to sticky yarns, they use this one, soft llama. It's also DK, and it's the most soft, lovely yarn you can imagine. Really lovely. And I wanted to knit with this yarn something. And the project I picked out from the collection was just a simple polo sweater with raglan, and I thought that this one looks a little bit short and a little bit wide, and but I can always fix the sweater so it will fit me. But what I realized after knitting the collar and came down to the body with just the plain stockinette, I realized that this yarn is very flat knitted in stockinette. So I was thinking, can I make something different here? So I brought out this beautiful book by Erika Åberg, Swedish designer, and I bought it this autumn, and she has a lovely sweater here. This one is designed in Gotland spinnery yarn, the Sork. I have sweaters in this yarn. So I thought, why not knit this one? It's knitted in moss stitch in the body. So I decided to cast on this sweater in this yarn. Really good combination, good decision from me, because this is turning out just beautiful. Really, really lovely. And I love the burgundy, it's beautiful. So cast it on for this polo, the collar first, and you did the short rows in the collar here in the back, so it will lift up the back and bring down the front like this. And I have just separated for the body and the sleeves, so I knitted a couple of centimeters here. I actually did it in the morning because I was so eager to, you know, get the yoke finished and just now knit around. And what I will do, I will knit a little bit more on the body, and then I will knit the sleeves, and then I will knit the body for as long as I have yarn. And I don't know, I have 12 skeins, and we shall see how long it will get. But this will be so lovely to have. You know, we bought a camper for the pickup truck last year, and we went to Norway, and you know, we are planning to go to Norway again, and going out with the car, and I can just sit in this lovely warm polo neck, thick, beautiful sweater. That will be nice. I will not be freezing. You know, last year we went to Norway and it was like winter when we came. We went from summer here in Sweden and up to Norway. We came to the glacier ice and it was super cold and rainy. So the lesson is learned. I will have a lovely thick sweater in the car, so I don't have to be cold this summer when we are going again. And we are going even further up north this year, so I think this will be nice to wear in the car. But yes, so much better with the moss stitch. I think it's a really beautiful, simple and beautiful texture to have. When the yarn is not so you know, textured itself, this is a quite flat yarn like this. It's nice to use a texture. It would also be nice for this one, you know, textured pattern with flat yarns. And if you have a textured yarn, you can knit a flat stockinette or instead. But this is on the needles, and it's so meditative to knit on. It's just I have got the rhythm of one knit, one purl, one knit, one purl. You just have to be aware when you shift. And I have a marker, so I know when it shifts. Otherwise, it's just round, round, round. Really love this one, and really love the yarn. It's a beautiful yarn, really. Something that I was gifted as well with the yarn for that project is Knit Pro Dreams. It's not what do you say, changeable. It's a fast, no, not fast, what do you say? It's just a circular needle, not changeable. But yeah, it's with wooden tips, really hard wooden tips, and it's the cable that is it's not the Ciasbod cable, it's a more plastic cable. But I am used to that because I love the wooden needles, and I often knit with, you know, before I always knitted with Lykke, and now I knit with, also tried this one, and Lantern Moon is another one, and they all have the same more plastic cables, but they get softer and softer with use, so I'm not troubled by it. But if you love the Ciasbod cable, perhaps not, I'm not sure. You will have to try and find your own opinion about that. Okay, that's on the needles and gifts and so on. And with this gift, the llama, soft llama, I also was gifted 2 skeins of raggi for socks, and it's the new collection Astrid Lindgren, and this is inspired by Madicken. I'm not sure if you have heard of it. I know you have heard of Pippi Långstrump and Emil perhaps, but Madicken is also Astrid Lindgren character, and the yarn, the colorways are inspired by that. So this will be socks, I guess. I will put them here in the sock pile. And I also bought 2 skeins of brown, just plain fingering sock yarn. I came to a store that was selling them for half price, and I thought that, yeah, that's the year for the solid color sock yarns. So I got that. And this weekend that has been now, I visited Fårfesten i Kil. That's a yarn festival, you can say, here in Sweden. And I got some Turkish spindles, I got some fibers, and yeah, that's it. No more actually, that's it. And the first Turkish spindles that I went to buy was it's a man from Sweden, and he always comes, and he makes, during the year, he makes niddy noddies, he makes Turkish spindles, he has made the Scottish, you call it galleon, I think, the Scottish hanging spindle. And this year I was lucky to come to him when he had the Turkish spindles still available. And he has thin hooks in the top. And he also, this year, I'm not sure if he has had this before, but he has metal tips. So you can use them as supported spindles if you want to. And the funny and lovely thing about Turkish spindles is the nests that you make. They are so beautiful. And when you decide that this one is full, you just take away the stick in the middle like this, pull it down, and then you can take out the wings as well. They are also what do you say? You can take them apart. So 2 Turkish spindles I bought from him, and I also bought that beautiful fiber that you saw. This is the color that I am spinning now, and as you can see I have some left here. I also brought out another Turkish spindle to continue my spinning, and this is from Istcraft, a beautiful Turkish spindle that I have had for some years, and I'm continuing now to just spin. I guess I will have to find some more spindles to keep on spinning. And I also bought a little bit lighter color, but still in the same, that was more for burgundy, this one is more for orange perhaps. But it matches me very well and the mood I'm in right now. So this will be next. I also went to Vinterverkstan. It was a stand there as well, and I got some merino silk. And it's these are the colors: rust, turquoise, brown, green, really beautiful. And I splitted that braid in first in half, so I have spun up the first half on the e-spinner. And I am working on the second half, and this is actually the one that I have left. And that half I split it in 4. So this is more, you know, I have spun 3 of this size after each other, so this is the 4th, and as you can see it's not so much fiber, it goes quite quickly with this. So this is called fractal spinning. You make one a little bit thicker braid on the first bobbin, and then you split it in smaller stripes like this, and so on every color repeat here it comes 4 times from this one. So when you apply it together it will be, you know, magic. That's how it turns out. And for this one I was actually planning on spinning it on the hanging spindle, because I thought it was, you know, here you have the color, it matches. But I was really tempted to just, you know, get it spun on the e-spinner. That goes quickly. So this one will just have to wait for another project when I have got this one out of the system. You know, sometimes you just want to do it right away. This was very fun to just make slow progress on the spindles, but with that one I was really interested to see how will this one look in the end. Okay, that is what I bought. Yes, the Turkish spindles and the 2 fibers. So I think we are done here. Lovely. I have been waiting so long to get this done, and it's so fun when you finally sit down and do it. It's just really lovely to talk to you, and I hope that you are all well and that we are getting our crafty things going, and I'm really grateful that you popped in and watched my channel and this episode, and for all your likes and comments. I'm forever grateful, and if you are still one of my patrons, you're a hero. Thank you so much. I am lousy at social medias at the moment. It's not my I'm sorry, it's not my first choice in life right now. But I will see you again in a new episode, I hope in April. This was the March episode. So until then, stay safe and stay happy, and bye bye.